I'm going to show you now how to draw a pie chart. Okay, so we're going to draw a pie chart for this data showing pupils' favourite subjects. Okay, oh, that should have an apostrophe. So PE, 17 people picked that as their favourite subject, art 13, maths 20 picked that obviously because it's the best, and science 10 picked that. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to make up a pie chart. Now how we do that is in 2 steps. I'm going to make up a rough table, okay, where we've got PE, art, maths and science. Okay, and I'm going to work out some different things. Okay, so I've got the number, people, I'm going to have the fraction, and you'll get to a stage where you maybe don't need this in your table, but for now I'm going to show you it. And the angle that you need to draw in your pie chart, and I'm going to tell you where to mark around the edge of the circle. Okay, now obviously we always use a ruler to draw this table, so I'm going to draw some straight lines in here, fill in this table nicely. I'll maybe just try and be a bit neat. I won't divide it up too much. There we go. Beautiful. It's a bit squinty, but it doesn't matter. This is just kind of our rough working. Okay, so for PE, 17 people, for art 13, maths 20, science 10. And I want to find the total. So 17 add 13, well 17 add 3 is 20, add on 10 more, that's 30, add on 20, that's 50, and science, that's 60. Okay, so it's a total of 60 pupils have been asked. Okay, so the fraction that like PE, 17 out of 60. Okay, the fraction that like art is 13 out of 60. For maths, it's 20 out of 60. And for science, it's 10 out of 60. And I don't even need to worry about simplifying these fractions. This is just very rough working. Now the angle, your angles go all the way around to 360. So the angle you're going to do for PE is 17/60ths of 360. Now remember to work that out. Remember a fraction just means divide. So we're just doing 17 divided by 60, 17/60ths, times 360. Oh, I should have left myself a bit more room. Okay, and let me tell you, that is 102. You'll probably get a calculator to do this, okay? But if not, okay, if you were going to times that by 360, you can see that they've got a common factor of 60. It's going to work out quite nicely, okay? For the next one, 13 divided by 60 times 360. Big place you get asked to do this in your National 4, expressions and formulae. Okay, so this is what you need to do. So top divided by bottom. Always multiplying by 360 because there's always 360 degrees in a circle, and just type that into your calculator. Okay, so last one, 10 divided by 60 times 360, and that is giving you 60 degrees. Okay, now what I like to do, and it's going to seem weird while I'm doing it here, but trust me, it'll make things easier. So I'm going to start at 0 on my protractor, and I'm going to make marks around the edge, and I'm going to join them all up to the middle. Okay, so my first mark is going to be at 102 degrees. Okay, and then to get the next one, I'm going to add on that 78. Okay, and this might look weird for now, but trust me, it'll make sense when I'm going round. So I'm going to make another mark on my protractor. 102 add 78 is 180 degrees. Okay, so I've added on that there. So that there is this here. And now this here, I'm going to add on. 180 add 120 is 300 degrees. That's going to be my next mark on the protractor. And then I've got 10 divided by 60 times 360, that was 60. I'm going to add on that 60. Now you should always end up back at 360 degrees. Maybe if you had lots of decimals and you'd been rounding them, you might get to like 361 or 359 if your rounding had been a bit funny maybe for some of them, okay? Don't worry too much about that, but it needs to be either exactly 360 or very, very close to it, okay? Otherwise you've made a mistake, and go back and look for your mistake, okay? Now that mark column, that's going to be the main thing we're going to do. Now, if you're drawing this in your daughter, okay, I've got a circle already made up, and I've made that to the same size as the protractor, but what you would do if you're drawing it in your daughter is, in the middle of your page, leave plenty of room, put a little dot first, and then line up this middle of the protractor with that dot, and then draw around the outside of the protractor, okay? So then you're going to end up with, exactly like this, a protractor with your dot in the middle, okay? So you've got a dot in the middle of the circle and the circle drawn perfectly around the outside. Don't draw the circle first without drawing that dot, okay? Draw the dot first. I'm going to write that down. So draw a dot first for the centre. That's step one. Then you're going to draw around the protractor. Okay. Now normally I like to put 0 at the top, but I just had to take this picture of a protractor off the internet, so the 0's at the side, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so here I am at 0 and I'm going to mark there. Why is this doing that? So there's a marker. Whoa, why is it disappearing? Who knows? My goodness, what am I doing wrong? I'm going to just keep trying here. Okay, there we go. So that's a mark at 0. Okay, then my next point that I needed to mark was 102 degrees. That's the first one. Okay, so I'm going to count round. You need to be really funny because look, some of these, there's all kinds of numbers going all different ways. So 350, that doesn't help us. From 0, 10, 20, 30, that makes sense. So going around the outside here, and we're going to go to 102. Okay, so 100's there, and then 2 teeny little lines. I do not know why it's doing that. Okay, so I'm going to mark that there at 102. Okay, my next point that I need to mark is 180. So I've done that, 102. Now I've got 180. So I'm counting around 110, all the way around to 180. There is, I think it's because I'm drawing on top of a picture. Okay, that's there. Okay, and then that's done. My next point that I need to mark is 300. So I'm going to count round, just keep counting round clockwise. 190, 200, there's 250, 300 is there. Okay, and then my last one to mark is 360, which is me back round to 0. Now you're gonna, I wonder if this will work or if it's drawn. Ah, yes, perfect. Get your protractor out the way, and we're going to join up all these lines to the middle. Okay, so there we go, protractor is out of the way now, and I'm just joining up all my marks. You can be a little bit more accurate, I suppose. This is, it's a bit hard to do on the computer. There's my 180, so joining up all these marks to the middle. Okay, and then what does this mean? Okay, so that first chunk I did for round from 0, that stood for PE. Okay, the next one was for art. Okay, next one's maths. And then last of all, it's science. You might want to colour them in and have like a colour code off to the side, but this is fine. Okay, and you need a title. Let's put in favourite subject. Okay, you can be really super neat and rub out these, oops, marks, but watch out on the computer or it might, I'm not even going to bother with that one because it's going to rub out all sorts. Okay, but that is how to draw a pie chart. Okay.